You ask a question, I'll answer it within reason.
I have no questions.
My question: how was your recent experience at NAPF, man?
Well, let's introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's your stats, man? Height,
Yeah,
weight,
height, weight, big freaking hands.
marital status, huge heart,
Okay.
squat, bench, deadlift.
You want my name, everything? Like
Sure.
Social
man.
Security.
Just a quick introduction.
KJ Cameron, born and raised in Reno. 47 years old. 6'2", 270.
For some reason, that just sounded cool.
Dude, I don't know. More like 6'6", 350,
Yeah.
six-pack abs.
Interior lineman for somebody.
Someone. You wouldn't know. We went to a
Yeah, I
different
had a
country.
chance, hurt my knee.
Had a bum knee. Could have went pro if I
I
was
could
good.
have made it to the pros.
Could have gone pro if I was good.
I've got a lot of those stories with baseball, but not for football. I was not a football player, despite my size.
What about a power lifter?
Let's see. Been doing it since 14. Best numbers raw. I've done a 272 and a half squat, 185 bench, and a 320 squat or deadlift.
Nice.
Let's specify.
For
Those are kilos.
Kilos.
for
So
the
those are all
pound-
kilos.
For the pound boys out there, 600 squat, 407 bench press.
And a 705 deadlift.
Insane.
Jesus.
And I've done that with
At
a
57
stiff,
years old.
and
Wow.
I've done that with a stiff bar and a noodle deadlift bar.
Still can't believe you did that at 67, dude. Barely look a day over 77.
Okay. Stop making me old.
You look great for your age.
I appreciate that. I had to shave the goatee to make me look younger. Too much gray.
Too much gray.
So.
Hell yeah, man.
So, how long have you been actually competing?
2014, I did a mock meet at Reno High. For some odd reason, they used a deadlift bar for squatting.
Hell yeah.
That sounds terrible.
And my first step back, the collar gave, and all the weights fell off. And I went,
What kind of backyard meet is
Yeah,
that?
what mock meet is this? Why are you competing with high schoolers?
it was.
What are you
it was
doing?
an
High
American-
school?
it was an American Iron meet. I played baseball for, I don't know, since I was a kid, and in the off season I would kind of train similar to a power lifter, and then life happened in 2013. I decided I would be wanted to do things that scared me, and I ended up becoming a power lifter. And no idea what I was doing. I wasn't even at this gym. I was at a gym in Sparks doing the cube method.
Classic.
Because that's the only thing that made sense.
If it works.
And then did the meet, and then I did okay. And then I went, all right, I'll do another one. And then my first meet in early 2015, I qualified for nationals, and Tammy said, hey, you want to go to nationals? I'm like, sure.
Why not?
I had a decent deadlift, so, and that's, which is still pretty much my forte that keeps me in the game. So did okay at USAPL Nationals in 15, and then I changed careers, and then I started back over in 17 and was able to podium as a masters lifter in the 120, and been going ever since.
Did you go to Worlds?
I didn't go to Worlds
No?
until
Okay.
until 2022.
Nice. What was was that Open Masters?
Yeah, or yeah,
Masters 1?
yeah.
Okay. What was your numbers for World meet? If you remember. 87 years old. Memory's not too good.
I pulled. I squatted 255, which I had hurt my knee, so anything
I remember that. Yeah, you hurt your knee like right before
And,
going.
for going to nationals, I wasn't supposed to lift. I was told not to lift, and I said I'll give you a token squat, and happened to I did 225, and it felt all right. So I kind of rehabbed through it to Worlds, and was like anything that's over that's going to be is bonus.
Yeah.
Bench, I 175. My bench has been the same for 6 years. It sucks. Anytime I lose weight, it drops down to 175, 177.
Right.
And then I pulled I think Well, I ended up missing it, so it didn't matter. Like 315 or something like that.
Okay. What'd you end up getting on deadlift then? If you missed 315.
I think I pulled like 310 or something like that.
Wow.
It was enough to get bronze.
So still top 3 in the world.
Yeah, it was one of those weird ones where I ended up being fourth. I didn't get any medals in any of the lifts, but I
got fourth.
But I got my total was enough to take bronze.
That's weird. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't, because I was just good enough in squat. I would fourth in squat, fourth in bench, fourth in deadlift, but because they were all up there,
The other guys probably had trade-offs.
So you averaged out so hard.
pretty much
Jack of all trades. That's what it's pronounced. Okay.
That's called being a powerlifter.
It's called being good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much like
guys
guys ahead of me on deadlift didn't squat or bench as well.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
yeah,
Story as old as time.
So you're a sheriff.
I'm a deputy sheriff. Yes, not a sheriff. That's a
I don't know.
position.
A deputy sheriff.
Yes,
How long you been doing that?
since 2016. I changed careers at 40 years old.
What were you doing?
Yeah, what was the career before?
I did low voltage systems. I did like alarm systems, sound systems, central vacuum systems in high end homes and whatnot.
Was that
So most of the homes that I was evacuating yesterday during the fire, I probably worked on.
Damn, you made a big change.
Was that a passion thing for you, or?
No, that was a convenience thing. I got out of college, had a buddy work for that company, and it just kind of progressed where I'm making good money. And then the recession hit in 2008, which kind of sucked. And then it just eventually I topped out. I just didn't want to. I wasn't going to make any more money. Wasn't going to make any farther in the company, and I was burnt out. And crawling under a house or crawling in attics at my height and
Gets old.
It gets old, and you're dealing with. Unfortunately, you're dealing with rich people that don't always have the same, are not always willing or understand the process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because they're rich because they're cheap.
Right.
It's funny how you made the change from rich people to like criminals. And you're definitely picking the lesser of two evils, it sounds like.
I deal with people on the worst day of their life, and I usually get yelled at for mistakes they make. That's pretty much law enforcement, is being yelled at for mistakes they make. So whether it was their fault or somebody forced them into that mistake, doesn't matter.
How is it balancing training and all that?
It sucks.
Because I see you here at most random times.
You just go when you can go. And then if that's your time, because like on some weeks I have my kids, and I don't have time in the evening because I'm with them, so I have to do in the morning. And then the weeks I don't have my kids, it's easier sometimes to go in the evening because then I have stuff to do during the day. So it's just working on your mindset when you're at the gym. You take care of what you got to take care of.
It seems to work out. Most people fall apart if they have to do
They're
that.
usually typically one of the most positive guys. So that's not. Most guys don't go through that stress in their life, and they're just like, life sucks, gym sucks, I hate it here. It's like, well, dude, gotta fix that, you know. But like seems like you have a healthy relationship, you know, balancing that kind of stuff. At least when you're in the gym, you know. Try your best.
I'm a natural competitor. I play baseball. Powerlifting kind of took the whole of the competitive in that baseball. I ran out of bullets in the arm and body. I just can't keep up to a certain. And then I beat it up with a hobby that really beats the shit out of you.
Yeah, when my one of them was done, I had decided to take it out on the rest of my body.
So it's a weird battle against myself. Like I have to go. That's why I can't do a home gym because I'll just sit out there and go. The motivation isn't there, but.
That makes a lot of sense. I've thought about getting a home gym, but I know it wouldn't be the same.
When COVID happened, like everybody else was like, all right, I'll work out at the house. And then
Who actually did?
It's like the treadmill. The treadmill becomes is your laundry basket.
Yeah, it's a towel rack.
Yeah, I'll watch a movie and get on the treadmill. No, you won't. It's just you're gonna go outside. Go to the gym.
Go for a walk.
This is like a personal opinion. I've always thought it's wild to buy a treadmill.
It is insane.
Like,
I get like rainy days and stuff, but like you're preparing for just the few days it rains in the year. Like, just go out and walk, brother.
Yeah.
That way, when it does rain, you can afford to not go outside.
Go out and walk. And if you really just want to walk in your house, you can pace back and forth. I do that all day long while I'm stressing out, just pacing back and forth. I got to get my steps in somehow.
I got a set of stairs you can go up and down. There's your stair mat.
There's your stairs.
I don't want to do stairs.
There was a comedy bit for a guy named Dennis Leary. He talked about the treadmill and the stairmaster. How about the chairmaster? I get down, I get up, I get down, I get up. I go up these stairs that never stop.
The chairmaster sounds more my style, except I just wouldn't get back up.
You know those industrial size treadmills, just behemoths, monsters, old like 90s treadmills.
Oh yeah, the giant ones.
Yeah, we had to move with guys. He had one of those back in Texas, and third floor townhome.
Oh,
Narrow stairwells, chandelier, everything.
That thing was never used.
No, never was. It wasn't used when we picked it up, and I'm sure when we set it down, it still hasn't been used. But they had their whole third floor was exercise.
Why?
well, yeah, exercise is getting to the third floor.
But like, it's not like exercise like racks and plates. It's like kettlebell in a box.
In a box.
Dumbbells, dusty. Treadmill, dusty. Clothes, hanging.
Destined for Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, I hate to see the random people that's like, yeah, we'll take that treadmill. All right, you gotta come get it. And it's the third floor of a townhome.
Why would you put it on the third floor?
A lot of people did that, man. Like the bedroom, you get used to it. Everybody lives on the second floor, but third floor was always like, yeah, we need the sleeper couch up there. It's like, of course you do. Why not?
Sleeper couches, so heavy.
So heavy, man. They're so deceiving.
Pivoting, you got to pivot like in Friends.
Oh, so much pivoting. We actually, I thought that was a joke at first. Like, we just pivot, just pivot. It's like, no, I can't. Oh man.
Just recently in Philadelphia, and the folks we stayed with, fellow powerlifters. That's the nice thing about this hobby, is you get to meet people. Their house was built in the 1700s, and it's amazing how society is. This house was originally built as a servant's house, so poor people would live in this house, and now rich people live in this house. But
It's niche.
on the main floor, they have a big hole cut out, basically the size of a refrigerator could fit through there. And that's how they get refrigerator, washer and dryer, everything down to the basement. That's their kitchen. And then on the main floors, they have basically the size of a queen size mattress in the hole. So you lift the subfloor up, slide the mattress through, put the subfloor back on. And that's the only way you can get furniture to the second and third floors, because it's a spiral staircase that is a one-stepper, one person getting through that stairwell.
I hate spiral staircases.
And the windows aren't big enough like you could go through a window, because it's a 1700s window. It's
How'd you end up staying with other powerlifters?
met them when we did bench nationals here in Reno in, what was it, 23? No, yeah 23.
Last year.
And then we ended up seeing them again at NAPF in the Cayman Islands, and we kind of just end up, hey, we're having dinner together. We end up going to the beach, and they competed. It turns out they're big Phillies fans. My other half is a huge Braves fan, and so they talked shit to each other the entire time about in the playoffs. So it just worked out that they were playing each other in Philadelphia, and we worked out a trip.
Oh shit,
nice.
That is pretty cool. Just about the sport, you just kind of meet people.
That community is insane, dude. The aspect of that community is like, you don't get that.
Then you end up
many
seeing
places.
people on the planes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially when like you're all going to the same national meet. You're like, hey, it's those guys, like.
And it's because of like social media, like, hey, I know you on Instagram.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of that.
We got a lot of that.
I don't know your
college.
name. I just know your handle.
Yeah. No, a lot of collegiate nationals. It was like, are you Park Hill 90? At the time, I was like, are you Kilo Monger? I was like, oh god, name's Garrett, dude. Calm down.
They're just calling you by like your gamer tag.
Just like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
you Dark Lord. Yeah, that's me.
Do you, KJ? Do you remember when we were coming back from Cayman Islands?
Oh, your favorite dog.
And it was the worst flight I've ever been on.
Was that the dog that wouldn't stop talking?
Oh my god, you warned us about it too, and I didn't know you were going to be on our flight. And we're just coming back from this thing, And KJ tells me about this dog that doesn't stop yapping, and we're all exhausted, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, all right, we're almost there, just one more flight, and we're back in Reno. We get on the flight. This dog is next to me.
I was about to say, this dog was like in front of you or next to you?
This dog was next to me, and it literally for 4 hours straight just yapped, and the owners didn't care. The owners even talked about like how they're gonna bring the dog again and all this stuff, and I was losing it. I was getting so upset. Like I could not. I had my headphones in full blast.
Still.
We're all exhausted. Everyone on the plane is exhausted. I felt like the plane was just a bunch of powerlifters that were just tired of everything because we had such a long week. I remember we hit some turbulence that was like really bad.
Is that the speed bump turbulent?
Yeah,
It felt like we hit a speed bump.
That's
it was
insane.
like it like knocked you up.
Yeah.
And I'm like so out of it because I'm exhausted and I'm tired, and all I could think is like, just let this plane go down.
Please.
I was
Well,
like, I'm ready. I accept my
shifts.
fate.
I randomly got to deal with that dog twice on the flight to Dallas. I had a
You got
ki-
the flight.
No, was it from Reno? I think it was from Reno to Dallas. Had a kid next to us with his dog. His dog was quiet. Their dog, of course, was right across the way from them, and then they just yapped at each other the entire time. And then we get off the plane like, all right, you guys can go. And then here we are back in Dallas again, and we end up seeing them, and that's where I was like, oh, hey, that's the same dog. This is gonna suck.
Hey, Brandon, watch out for this one.
Oh my! I just, of course, I sat next to him.
Yeah, because
That whole flight was weird.
I was allowed.
There was
Turbulence dogs.
there was like people on the flight that were just acting funky. Like it was just not It was definitely a flight that's going to Reno.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first came here in March, and like all these people are like flying back home to Reno from DFW, it was the weirdest flight I've ever been on.
It's
And I was just like, all these people are like, we're going back home, and there's some lady trying to talk to me all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, dude. And it's just a different vibe. The people coming back to Reno.
Well, KJ, since you're a cop, how accurate is Reno 911?
It should be Sun Valley 911.
Oh, that's true. I've told you about Sun Valley, Garrett.
Sun Valley, yeah.
Sun Valley, I think, still is the world's largest trailer park.
Don't they have the highest rate of felons?
And
Like the ratio?
per capita?
I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but there is a lot of crime, unfortunately, a lot of drugs and whatever else in Sun Valley. But generally, especially for a guy that's a felon, it's hard to get a job. It's hard to get a good job, and you have to go where rent is cheap. Sun Valley is cheap. So they kind of flock to each other, unfortunately. And most of them, they go where they're comfortable. And guess what? I have other convict friends who have drugs. So I'm going to go hang out with them, and then I'm going to end up eventually getting down into it.
It's actually pretty unfortunate.
It's terrible. I don't know the exact percentages, but it's super, super high. I would say over 90% of every criminal in our jail, and that's over 1,000, their crime was because of alcohol or drugs, and it was either the drugs made them go to do bad things in order to get more drugs, or they were on drugs and they did bad things and made poor decisions, whether it was a DUI, domestic, car accident, DUI, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Or I'm gonna go break into this house, go steal a bunch of stuff, pawn it so I can go get some more meth. Or in the wonderful, terrible thing that we have now, the world of fentanyl, that is added to everything and is just dastardly. It's kind of Darwining itself because unfortunately, people are overdosing on it.
Like a lot. Narcan is everywhere now.
Yeah.
I have some.
Yeah.
You can like buy it. I've seen it like in vending machines on the street.
We carry it on ourselves just because if you're
Exposure.
not your exposure, and it don't take much. They say 3 micrograms could kill you. I don't know if it could, but I don't know. And you got gals doing 2-3 grams of fentanyl a day,
Holy shit.
and then the detox on it's lovely. They feel like they're gonna die, and They won't. They could. They won't. But they kind of deserve it. To be honest with you.
Jeez.
Well, they stick that poison in them. They should feel the penance of going through a detox.
Maybe not dying, but
No,
like
no, I don't want them to die. I don't want
the
them to die.
detox. Yeah,
The detox, you just have to go through it, and they are, well,
I imagine you see a lot of that in the jail.
detoxing off of fentanyl, detoxing of alcohol are hard to look at. It's very dangerous.
Alcohol is supposed to be like the most dangerous one, right?
Yeah, because your body will seize up because it's so used to having a certain fuel. Because they get a heavy drunk, they're walking around with 10% of their blood is alcohol all the time.
Jeez.
And then you go to zero, its body's looking for that analgesic part of the alcohol that gets it, and then it doesn't know what to do with itself.
So do you primarily work at the jail, or are you like patrol, or what do
I
you do?
stayed at the jail. I had my chance with patrol. I chose I didn't like what it was doing for me mentally, and
Because that's what I was going to ask. Because like, how is the stress levels?
different kind of stress. Patrol is you have unknown variables all the time. Everybody has a gun, and if they have one gun, they have two guns. If they have a knife, there's two knives. This person has drugs. Every time they put their hand in your pocket, you're like, "Are you trying to hurt me?" So it's that kind of stress. Or it's you go, "I've been to this house 4 times tonight because you two are arguing and you can't figure it out," and you're like, and I have to be professional and not tell them to figure it out. Yes, sir. No, sir. Stuff like that.
So you did do patrol for a little bit?
For a minute. I liked the jail. There's some certain amount of security with it. So, pay wise is still the same. Whether on patrol or in the jail, I make the same amount of money. So it takes away a certain stress level.
Because I imagine, balancing training with that high stress job can be difficult.
Yeah.
But you are one of the more calm people. I mean, at this gym, it's a demeanor. You wear it well.
I learned that from playing sports that you can't. That max effort all the time is tiring, especially if you're like playing baseball. You can do that for one pitch, but if you're a pitcher and you have to throw 100 pitches, you can't max effort every 100 pitch. You're going to be exhausted. So you have to kind of calm into it and just
Pick your days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always thought your training was interesting because I've watched you for years.
My winging it training.
You also do you'll do stuff like leapfrogging.
I think the words regulation, auto-regulation. Just
Yeah.
how do I feel today?
I do a lot of that. Like the idea of an RPE makes a lot of sense. I just don't like the math of it. Like, oh, this is a 7.5 RPE. I was like, okay. I don't.
You actually do feel it. You're just not going off.
Yeah,
You're just putting on number.
Yeah,
to
I'm
it.
not gonna say, hey, today's I need you to get get to a top single at a 7.5 RPE.
You're like
I don't.
0.5.
I don't know. Okay, what's the difference between a 7 and a 9? Okay, I'm not getting 3 more reps even at a 7.
Right.
And at a 9, I'm still not getting 3 more reps. So that part of it I don't make. I just go, today, this is what I got. Like at NAPF in Scottsdale, but this is what we're going to get today. I'm not looking for records because I just haven't trained to records. So I'm happy with the 305 deadlift, even though that should be an opener or a second. And that's what was my third, and that's what we needed for that day.
How was your training up until NAPF?
Terrible. I worked too much.
Yeah, I was about to say. I remember you weren't having a good time.
No. I was literally just working too much. I was doing almost every week was doing anywhere from 2 to 3 shifts at 16 hours, and it just wears. Don't get enough sleep. Don't get enough recovered. And I don't think I did a deadlift over 290, and I failed 290 a couple times. And that's not even. I opened with that at NAPF and Cayman's the year before.
Yeah, you
At
did.
295. I missed it for technical reasons.
Hey, but you still won.
No, I didn't win in Cayman.
No, I mean in last NAPF.
Oh yeah, well that wasn't hard.
Won our hearts, brother.
You won our hearts.
I could have literally lifted the bar and just gave him middle finger. to
You
everybody.
That would have been a cool story.
but it's pretty unfortunate you still came last place.
Yeah, and first place at the same time. It sucks when there's nobody else to lift against. It's hard. You got. I have to look at open guys and go, I'm going to compete against that guy, even though I'm not competing.
You did
against
get the
that guy.
Nevada Open record.
Well, that's cool. The pool is shallow.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, but I mean, it's still something. Considering you're a master, that's
Yeah.
like
I don't even know how many records I have, but the pool has been shallow, so I was like,
Can we call him Master KJ? That'd be wild.
Master Kenneth.
don't call me Kenneth.
Lifting Master.
I hate Kenneth.
Kenneth is.
I don't hate Kenneth. Sorry, Mom.
Lifting Master.
Sorry, Mom.
Lifting Master Ken. Just Ken.
What about Ken? Yeah.
Ken's okay. I have a captain that refuses to call me by KJ or Cam. Always calls me Ken. I'm like, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Where does the J come from?
John.
Junior. Oh, John.
Oh,
Kenneth John Cameron. My dad is. I was lucky not to be the firstborn male. Going back 4 generations, it was everybody's firstborn male was named Richard. So I've like, yeah. And they go by Dick, except for my dad and my older brother.
Rich right there. I think.
So I have Richard Hugh, my great grandpa Dick, my grandfather was Richard Allen, my dad was Richard Jonathan, my oldest brother is Richard Dennis. And I was like, cool. I'm not naming my son Richard. I'm sorry.
didn't want to keep up with tradition.
What if he picks up a nickname, Richie or something in high school, and you're like, God dang it.
Richie's fine. One of my best friends is Richard. But he goes, I'm not going by Dick. You can call me Rick maybe, but I'm going by Rich.
Rich.
So
I kind of want to ask too, like, what leading up to NAPF, you were working a lot. How did you manage to like still get training and fatigue and everything? Because even though you were working a lot and you weren't training not nearly as optimal as you usually do, I mean, you still did decently well.
yeah, it was fair. Mindset, I guess. I'm willing to accept that. Okay, I will say this: in powerlifting, guys will get a huge number, and because they can't attain that number again, they quit.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they flash out, they flame out because I can't handle that level. I need to be at this level of lifting. And as you get older, your body breaks down. You just don't lift. I'm gonna hit a weird peak at where I can't gain anymore. My line is still semi-linear. It's going up. At some point, it's just not to. It's just your body just can't do what it used to. It doesn't recover as well. Things break down. God knows I've got things that want to detach off knees and shoulders. But I'm willing to accept that, okay, today is not going to be, I'm not making a record today, but I can win. So that's that part of it.
I feel like there's even just younger people doing that now, where they're just like, they don't understand like there's peaks and valleys to this sport. And so like they hit something great at a meet, and obviously you're going to drop down a little bit right afterwards.
Yep.
And they don't understand that that's not, you can't stay there.
They think they can just stay peaked, and that's their strength all the time. It's
It
like,
doesn't work that way.
It's hard. You like Ed Cohen does it. He talks about, okay, he sets up his numbers for a year, which is freaking amazing. But his is like, okay, we go to here, and we start over, and then we go to here, and then we start over, but it's just a slight step higher, and that builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
And they want to be here and stay here, and you just can't. You're going to get hurt, or your mindset because of failure is going to make you drag down.
It's the obsession of numbers. And I talk about that a lot. It's just one of the things I don't like is people obsessing over numbers. Instead of like actually like obsessing over just improving, they obsess over a certain number that they want, and it knocks everything else out, because now you tend to deviate from the plan if all you think about is one thing.
Yeah, there was a symposium with Herbie, I forgot his name.
Yeah, Herbie.
Herb and Dan Green, Brandon Lilly, We had it at a meet, I don't know, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
It was 2019.
Yeah, they were talking about like don't chase records
Yeah.
or the chase the numbers. I disagree. You should still chase the numbers. You should always know the numbers. That's why we do it.
But there's a
You just
difference
have to be
between-
realistic what your number is.
I think there's a difference between chasing a number and being realistic versus obsessing over it, and that's all you think about.
Yeah, I know there's a couple young bucks who want I'm going to get this record. I'm going to get this record. I'm going to get this record. I've done it. Okay. I wanted the NAPF record for deadlift and came in and not paid attention to the fact that I was actually down going into my third deadlift when all I had to do was do not a token deadlift, but a very doable deadlift. And
Place.
I would have, yeah. I thought I was ahead.
Yeah.
And I didn't, but I was actually down by 2.5 kilos. All I had to do was do like a 307 or a 305 because I'd done 300 for my second, even though I missed my first. I could have done 305, 307, and something very easily doable and would have won. Instead, I was like, let's go break the record.
I want this
And-
number.
And
Give it to me.
I don't fail a lot of deadlifts in competition usually. So, and that one I got to my knees and was like, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Oh god, it's not going up anymore.
It was like,
Why did it stop?
hand of God right there. Just, nope, not today.
Calm down.
I filled out on every third bench. It's going to be today.
It just comes off. You're like, that ain't it.
I can get 700 pounds probably off my chest, but it's never going to lock out. Just hand. No.
Yeah, stay there.
Haven't you torn your biceps?
Nope.
What? Because you
Never,
did. I thought you
never
did.
torn never torn a, well, okay. I've torn a hamstring, which was back in 2014, which was the only meet I've ever done sumo deadlift in. My very first meet.
Oh,
Because sumo didn't hurt.
what am I thinking of then? You had some sort of injury in your arm.
No, never my arms. I've had a little bit of impingement left shoulder. Right shoulder, I know I torn my rotator cuff. I remember the pitch I tore it on. And it just, because I could max effort. It wasn't screaming and yelling and all that stuff, but I could max effort every pitch if I needed to. And now, when I did pitch, it was, I give you 15 a game where I can just reach back as best I can. And now I can't even straighten my right arm because
That's what I'm thinking of.
I can't straighten my right arm because of baseball.
Because that's what I was thinking of, and I was like, okay, yeah. Which is why you pulled hook for so long, and then all of a sudden you're doing mixed grip again.
Well, I originally right arm was my under, and left arm was over, and I was super strong. But when I would get to that upper 500 range, 600 range, I could really feel it in the elbow.
Yeah, because
it wants to straighten.
if you think about it, though, if you have enough weight, it's going to straighten it out.
Brother, it doesn't work that way. Trust me.
I know that
tried.
there's a calcium deposit bone spur on the ulna bone. I've seen it in an X-ray. The reason we'll get to why I switched to hook is that I'm waiting for that thing to blow up someday, and then snap city because those muscles are all super tight holding it together.
Oh, that's going to be fucking sick.
So, because I was worried about that snapping, and I think that was around the time one of our bigger lifters snapped his bicep. Granted, he was on. I don't know what he snapped his bicep pretty good, and I was like, I don't want that to happen.
Big save.
And so I went to
Thanks
hook
for the
grip.
heads up, brother.
I went to the hook grip, and it didn't bother me. I don't hook grip a lot. Like I don't do reps. I just most of the time up until that point I would maybe do at a meet would maybe do 5 hook grip lifts, and 3 of them were my lifts.
Interesting.
Because I always would train double overhand as high as I can go, and then I switched to hook grip.
Yeah, you've always had a very strong grip.
So that
Because you used to do stuff like in between sets, like
I still do that.
like one arm shrugs and stuff like that.
When I was younger, I didn't understand how to use straps correctly. So I went, if I can't hold it, I can't lift it. And so I got to that point of, okay, if I can hold it, then I can lift it. And then I did realize as I've gotten older that straps are your friends when you're doing reps. So,
I feel
but
like that kind of mindset got you pretty far, though.
I if it was physically able to do a double overhand lift and hold it, I would rather do it because to me it engages way more muscles when you're holding that tight. It just forearms and shoulders and everything like that.
Yeah,
Whether
that's
you're
true.
doing a pull up or doing a heavy deadlift, it just engages everything. I feel like it engages so much more. With the hook grip, it ends up stopping a little bit because the pinky and stuff doesn't hold it the same because your thumb and your middle fingers and all that stuff those are the ones really gripping into the bar, and then you lose a little bit of the pinky that creates that other up the arm and all that
Yeah, the
stuff.
pinky is what kind of defines a person's grip.
And
The sword. You got to hold the sword with the pinky. If you lose the pinky, you can't hold the sword.
and it's weird with me because of the elbow not being doesn't straighten. I have weird stress points. Like I rip all the calluses off my ring and pinky area instead of my thumb. Not I'll still scrape up the thumb, but like most people, they'll lose all the skin off their thumb. I won't really lose it. I'll end up losing it there because it wants to roll.
That makes sense. I've done that before when I was like trying to pull hook grip. It always tear right here, but I never got any problems with my thumbs. Well, everybody else at the gym is just ripping their thumbs in half,
Over gripping,
and then
over hooking, basically.
doing 2 deadlifts and then quitting.
Uh, there's a lot with the grip strength and like mortality rates. Actually, there's some
there's
research
a
on that.
direct correlation
Like,
that they found.
Things like grip strength, the ability to go upstairs. I think even some are like jumping and running, but like little things but mainly like people that are stationary, but if they have strong grips and are able to like keep going upstairs and stuff, like sign that they're probably gonna live a little bit longer.
The strength of your grip and the size of your forearm determines how long you're gonna live.
Ah, it's interesting. It would make sense. Like my grandfather, the John Wayne of my life, even into probably his 70s, would do because he was a former professional wrestler and the professional wrestling back in the 40s. So it was it was all about handholds and stuff like that. And he would just like
was that catch wrestling? Is that what it's called?
Sort of.
Yeah.
It was a work, but at the same time it was a shoot.
Okay.
So,
Shoot.
yeah, like I'm trying to think of his name. There was a guy that like the grip strength those guys had, like they could take an apple and just crush it with one hand and then go. But he would like, hey, let me see your pinky real quick, and he could do that up into his 70s. You're like, God, thanks, old man.
It's just like the old timey fighting too.
And he lived to be 91 years old, and he was a smoker, drinker, and everything else, and worked graveyard as a pit boss and a casino. I mean, the amount of things he breathed in and saw.
That sounds
and everything
like someone who's
and he
from
still,
the 40s.
And he still lived to be in 90. So, but he was up until his 80s very active and did the lawn, did all the yard work, did woodwork and everything like that. So it makes sense.
Bet woodworking helped contribute to that too, along with the wrestling.
And he didn't. He's like me. My pinky doesn't bend now. If he pointed at you, you didn't know if he was pointing because all of his fingers have been broken in one way or another. Are you looking at me?
You looking at me funny?
That's interesting. I didn't know about the mortality rate. It makes sense.
It's something like that.
I think it has to do with like the blood flow. So if you're
what I think.
the forearms are really hard to build and they're really hard to get blood into, and so if you're able to do that, it means you're like an active person, and so like that you're able to like your blood flow is really good, so it's pumping throughout your body, and I mean I think that's what it is.
There's so many things with grip and forearms too. Like,
and then
go ahead.
It makes sense in today's society because you don't have as many. You don't have farmers. You don't have the manual labor that you used to do. So that's people are losing that that natural. You didn't even realize you're doing grip strength. You don't have to be a lifter. You just know how to hold on to things, how to hold on to a hammer, how to hold on to a shovel or
Well, I mean, there's
pickaxe.
even lifters that have terrible grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super great strength, but just can't hold on to anything. You know, there's like it's like something with like if your grip just gets like a little bit stronger, like there's like a certain lift you can test, like your forearm strength or grip strength on. And if it even gets like 5 pounds heavier, it's like a direct 1% increase per pound you get better.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like your forearms contribute so much to like your strength, actually.
Well, like you were saying, you say how it engages like your whole body,
Yeah.
and I think
Exactly.
that's because it's like
the
your
neural-
forearms are technically like giving
it's
out.
the neural link, you know, to like everything, you know. That's like you're touching everything. If something feels small in your hand, you can probably lift it a little bit easier. When you have better grip, everything feels lighter. You know, so there's the mental aspect, but then also you're also just stronger and can grip things better. And when you're gripping things better, everything engages. So you're working more muscles. You got more motor units going. You know, so
Yeah, and that was, yeah, and that all stemmed from me not being able to use straps, or I didn't respect the guys that use straps for like.
Oh, you were one of those people, huh?
Well, I didn't.
my
okay,
kind of man.
I'm not gonna. I'm not
My
gonna make.
kinda man.
I'm not gonna make fun of bodybuilders because bodybuilders.
They don't need it.
That is an art form and discipline that is beyond me. But you get the classic 1990s, weight belt, tongue out, high top, short shorts that they use straps to hold every single lift, and and it's like you're missing out on a certain level of strength that
Yeah.
you're never going to get, and it's like I'm going to strap up to do a high volume lat pull down. That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't help that
I-
much.
I get it if you're doing a 5 to 6 rep range on a 90 to 100%. Okay, your grip might give out at a certain point, but when you're doing hypertrophy pump action, I don't know, why do you need to do the straps? But that was just me being super idealistic as a young kid. So I'm like, all right, if I can't hold it, I can lift it, and it just kind of progressed over the years, and then it became a challenge on double overhand is how much I can do, and I still want to do a 600-pound deadlift overhand.
What's your best double overhand?
565 with a noodle bar.
Good God.
Doesn't count.
No,
Yes, it does.
I've done
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
545 on a stiff bar.
That's insane.
I got 580. We did
actually.
a deadlift competition before COVID, and I got 585 to my thighs before the grip gave out.
Double overhand? That's wild.
And then, but yeah,
Could you imagine just 6 plates on the bar and you can just touch it and just go, dude? That'd
a
be
lot
insane.
of it is lifting it fast enough before your hands give
That
out.
makes sense.
Because if you can get it up to here, you can kind of.
Did you hold it deep in your hand, or did you kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
fingertip
very
it?
curious
Because
as
I was
to
always
where-
told if you hold it deep, it rolls in that. Kind
That's
of
why I
defeats
never
it.
hold it deep.
I think it's I just
You
hold
just-
it. I just hold
He
it.
just picked it up. I don't want to hear it, dude.
Yeah.
I just grab it and go. If it feels good in the hand, then it feels good.
Nice.
But the one that gets like Ortmeyer can do he's done over 600 on double overhand. He did it with like that freaking SSB bar.
Oh, yeah, he did. That was weird.
Like he, I don't. It was like a
Yes.
weird rolling thing. He
Yeah, he was
messing around
like
with, and I was
training something weird. I don't remember exactly what it was. But
or was it the cambered bar?
No, I think it was the SSB. Because I remember thinking to myself, I was like, why didn't you use a camber bar? That was like my thought process.
For a deadlift?
Yeah, so he had it like set up and he was like elevated, and he was like
And I think
deadlifting
with the
SSB.
Yeah, okay,
So it
okay.
like
with the
swung.
roll on it,
So it curled and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. I get that. Okay.
and he just, I'm doing the math on it. I'm going,
That's insane.
he just double overhand 600 pounds.
Yeah, and that's a thick bar.
He's got huge hands and really long arms, so
Big.
huge fella.
6'7".
I mean, he's a stone man for
Big
a
ass
reason.
dude.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
But hey, and then you have the others who are super strong and their hands are super small, or you get the guys that just have meaty paws and they just can't. The bar has nowhere to sit in their hand, and I always feel bad for them. Like,
Yeah, that's why a lot of big guys, they have trouble with grip.
Heavier guys.
Yeah, like heavier. Like they're
they got
not.
claws, dude.
It's not even. Yeah, they have like just these fat paws.
yeah, and that's just kind of the product of them. The weight goes somewhere, and like there's, crush your hand in a handshake, but they can't hold a bar because it just has nowhere to go in their hand, and physics just force it out of it.
Yeah, it's like their hands already like opened up because of that.
The two strongest hands, like handshakes I've ever gotten one was Ashton Ruska. Bro just throws your body around when he shakes it. It's just funny.
It's kind of unnecessary.
And then Perkins, because before he was Perkins, he like wrapped knees all the time for the team and everything.
Oh,
And so like he just built that up, and then he was already just nutty strong, and so just it was one of the best knee wraps ever too. So, but like he has this tensile strength. You've seen Perkins.
Yeah.
He's insane. But it's just those are guys I can see that could just no matter what they do in life, they'd probably be able to deadlift 600 or 700 pounds, take months off, just strong hands, strong forearms, whole
Yeah.
system's insane.
it was like that with Cohen, like a short guy and just
Huge hands.
huge.
I heard his hands were like
They're bigger.
Just
They're
insanely
bigger than
long.
mine.
Yeah, pretty big hands.
Because
you know, has huge hands. Mike has huge hands.
He does have huge
They
hands.
called him orangutan hands. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I went to what meet was it? Boss of Bosses, I think it was 2, and I got to meet Cohen and some of those high level lifters that you don't really, unfortunately, don't see much morning. It's part of the course.
You've seen the sport change quite a bit.
Oh yeah, especially starting in 2014.
Uh,
I'm sure you've seen the biggest of changes
Yeah.
since then.
and it sucked because I was like, okay, I don't know enough about this sport. I know enough. I was a peripheral guy, and so like, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna be this guy and go, okay, I can't total 2,000 pounds, and and some of them they're very well enhanced and stuff like that. It was just not something in my world that way, and so I'm like, okay, I gotta find somebody that's around me to go off of. And then I kind of doing meets and stuff. I know, okay, I have similar lifters to me that are USAPL, so I know they're probably drug tested, or at least we're on a somewhat level field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. You have a lot of flash in the pans.
That makes sense.
Like, okay, you're the next phenom. Like, I don't want to speak disparagingly of Dan Green. Dan Green was like this phenom guy in 2014. I don't I don't think he's lifted maybe once
Since
in
then,
the last 5 years.
Animal Cage probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Brandon Lilly was big, and then he got hurt, and now he's doing his own thing. He was a guy. What's his name? He was a. I can't think of his name. Doesn't matter. A lot of those like bigger dudes that were like doing the big dogs and boss of bosses and stuff like that. I don't see much of them.
They die out quick.
Yeah. Like a Derek Kendall or I think huge, or even like Rob Philippus. Like these guys were all 900-pound squatters, and now you don't see them anymore.
It wasn't even a gradual decline. It just stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah, maybe some of them got hurt, and then but you don't see them on the radar anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot because they excel so fast, top out,
And
and then they don't want to keep working.
or they can't get to the number they just hit. They hit that. I hit my 900-pound squat and go from there. With like Matt Winning, he talked about it took him 2 years to get to 600-pound bench. Took him another 5 to get to 630. And
Damn, only 2 years.
or
nice.
something like it was something super quick to bam. Here I'm at 600 now.
Mhm.
You think based on that progression, oh, I'm gonna get 700 pounds the next 3 years. Here you are stifling at 625, which is still a huge number, but you're getting your quarter of a pound a year, and and a lot of people don't like that grind. That's a tough
I
grind.
think what also discourages people is like then you'll get some young buck out of the woods that all of a sudden is hitting the same number and more than you, and then you're like, well, I'm stagnant and they're still increasing, so I'm done now. You know,
And some of
some people don't, but I feel like that's also another factor.
them it's they get a family.
Yeah.
It's hard to do this gig with a family, or they change careers, or injuries. Maybe some of them are enhanced, and it has negative health events. You burn super hot, but you can't burn that hot the rest of your life. It's not. Your body can't handle it. You're going to end up being sick, and that's why you have young bodybuilders and not old bodybuilders.
That's why I don't take drugs or talk to women. Not a good combo for powerlifting, gentlemen.
It definitely feels like
It's-
people just like they reach a certain point and then they see somebody else that's stronger and then they forget that, oh yeah, you're not the strongest person. And I think that's just like an ego thing too. It's like you have to be willing to know that someone's always stronger than you.
Yeah,
It's part of the game. It's part of being a human. There's always a bigger fish, you know?
Exactly.
well, it's like I know there's plenty of dudes stronger than me, but I'm like, okay, but I would like to get in the same breath. Okay, I don't know if I can get to you, but I'm gonna get
I'm going
close.
to do my dangest.
See, that's,
Yeah.
that's a
Darndest.
better way to look at it.
It's the
I don't
competitiveness he
wanna-
was
yeah.
talking about. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to get as close as I can to you.
I may not look above you, like look down to you because I'm on the podium and you're down next to me, but I want to look eye to eye with you. Or like, I used to do this even with baseball. I'd come out of it going, "Who's this fucking guy?" Like they don't know who you are, and then come out of it going, "Who's that fucking guy?"
Well, now I really need to know who this guy is now.
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, you just surprised me." Like, because it's not like I'm somebody at the American Iron Gym, but if I were to walk into another gym, nobody knows who the fuck I am.
Then you
Nobody
pull
cares.
seven.
And nobody cares. And then you go, okay, hey, I'm gonna go pull 6 in front of you. Like, oh, hey,
It's big dog.
oh, hey, how you doing? "Hey, you know something? Yes, I know a few things. I don't pretend to know a lot, but I know a few things. So
I pretend to know a lot.
yeah,
It seems to work out. That's how I got the job.
It's all been pretend.
It's all been pretend.
yeah. I'll talk about mental all day long. Like this, change your mindset on some things. There's technique things when it comes to powerlifting I don't know, but I can help you get your mindset sometimes. Like, hey, think about it doing this way. I did it when playing baseball. Like, how'd you throw that strike? Well, I did this and this and this. Well, okay, do it again. Well, I don't know what I had to do this, and this. No, just throw the ball. It'll take care of itself.
If I can ask you for some advice, there's been a lot of younger lifters at the gym I'm noticing. A lot of confidence issues, specifically in the deadlift. As a guy that really excels in the deadlift, do you think of anything special, or is it just for you just another lift and you just that's what helps you going into it? It's just another day, just another lift, or what is it?
I'm going to be honest. I hate deadlifting. I'm just happen to be good at it.
I just happen to have a sport that I do it in.
It is a battle to me. It's a battle of attrition. It's a battle of this. You have to go. You have to. I don't know. How do I explain this better word? Yeah, almost. It's not a life and death thing because come on, it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
But I have to do better today than I did yesterday, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
And so, and maybe yesterday wasn't your best day, but today is going to be a better day. But you still have to have the mindset of, okay, I can't do that peak thing like a lot of these guys where they flame out. They're like, okay, I hit my 400-pound deadlift. I'm going to pull 500 in a year, and I'm going to pull 600 in a year and a half. You can't do that, but it's just, you might be able to, but it's hard to keep that linear thing. It's like the Matt Winning thing. It's just
trying to be better.
Yeah.
Take the chances you
And
can
understand that you're going to fail. It's okay to fail. That's how you learn. That's how you go, okay, what did I do wrong?
I think
Self-assess the fact that, hey, if you missed a deadlift, it's not the end of the world.
Think that might be.
I think that's another thing. People are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, being afraid to fail is just gonna make you fail.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know how many fucking nope deadlifts I've done? Nope, not today. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. You can.
And tell them, be willing to walk away. It's okay. You don't get it today. They're dead set on. All right, I'm gonna take my belt off. I'm gonna lower and put chains on. I'm gonna still get this weight today. Like, why? It's there tomorrow. It still weighs the same. It still weighs the same for you. So for me, it's be fine. But we are in a fast forward culture. We have to have our answer today. We have to have our gratification. We have to have our gold star at that moment. knowing that I got this weight today. Well, that's nice, but some days you just don't have it. The air is heavy. You didn't eat enough. You slept only 7.5 hours. Your Xbox game forgot the load and you didn't get your right mindset. I don't know. I'm making up shit on a video game.
I like it.
It's
Keep it going.
you're gonna have a lot
Sounds
of
like a personal experience.
I could get.
It definitely sounds like.
I'll. Here's my old moment. I've never played an Xbox in my life.
Oh man,
What have you played? Atari?
SNES.
I grew up. I was. We were. I had Intellivision.
Oh shit!
Okay.
In color?
Similar era.
I played Pong. We had an Intellivision as a kid. I had the first Nintendo back in 1986. My mom, who apologizes to this day, couldn't get Super Mario Brothers, and so she gave me Mario Brothers, which is more the classic arcade game, which is not the same as Super Mario Brothers.
Completely different.
And I was like, oh man. But
Hate you, Mom.
but then I discovered Contra and Legend of Zelda, and we were good from there.
Oh, so you're fine.
Contra.
I had
a man of culture over
Contra's
here.
good right
yes,
there.
up, down, left, right, ABA start.
Too complicated for me.
Yeah, I had a PlayStation 2. I still have it somewhere. That's as far as I've gotten. I played Resident Evil. Loved Resident Evil when I was just in high school or just in college back in the mid 90s.
How much
young
PlayStation 2 did you play? You ever play the Street games, like NBA, NFL Street?
No, I was
Yeah,
a Tony
those
Hawk Pro Skater guy.
Hell
Those were
yeah.
good too. Yeah, those were good.
Hell yeah.
Underground?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I still have all those. I haven't played games. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. No.
It's not
just-
worth it.
It's not. It's just not in my. It's just not something I do anymore.
I have a PS4, and I use it just for like YouTube and Netflix mainly.
And that's the nice thing
The
with it.
occasional Skyrim.
So what do you do for like downtime?
Depends on who you ask. I'm the iPhone game guy.
Sick. Clash of Clans.
No, I don't play
Fruit
Clash.
Ninja.
I play like Royal Match and I'll.
You play those ads, essentially?
You pay them $1.99 and you don't have to do it.
It's just $2, guys.
I like movies. I like going to movies. I love traveling, and I likely have a good partner that go traveling with. Powerlifting is this new endeavor into powerlifting America and being pretty good at it has allowed me to travel to places all over the world. So, or starting to get all over the world, at least around the U.S. and stuff. So, like going to the Cayman Islands. We're going to Mexico City last year. We're going to Costa Rica in October for NAPF bench, which is super cool.
That is pretty cool.
Break that 177.
Yeah, I need to.
I'd say just shoot for 2. Just load it up.
Open with 175.
I've thought about it. Just get it out. Just get it out of the way.
Like I know I got this.
Why waste the bullets? I know I'm gonna get 175.
You only got 3 attempts, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
If you miss it the first time, you
no,
get 2 more tries.
no,
You got 2 more tries.
I'm always conservative on my first one. Get into the meat and then go have some fun. That's the other young advice to kids. Just because you're going for, I want to have a 500-pound whatever, doesn't mean you need to go 475 as an opener.
I've made massive jumps before.
It's like the only way to go.
I opened at 520 on deadlift and ended with 600.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just needed, I didn't know. I didn't know
Could
how
you
I was
imagine
feeling.
taking 3 attempts within like 5 or 10, even 15 kg from each other, man? Like going from 280, 290, 300. You're like, dude, that's like 3 max efforts right
Yeah,
there. What am I
exactly.
doing with this? But so what's the future hold for KJ? Do you have any meets coming up, or other than the bench one in October? You said October?
Yeah, end of October, November. We'll do bench. Right now it's just off-season stuff, which is why I do stupid beltless deadlifts.
Hate those.
I think my next meet after that, I'll do bench nationals because I honestly really like the national team for Powerlifting America. They're a good group of people. They're a lot more cohesive. When you get on the full power side, because everybody has their own coach and we're spread to the wind a little bit, it's not as cohesive. It's not terrible. You just have to be a little bit more I don't know, selfish, I guess. You have to kind of take care of your own business, and not a lot of folks are going to help you out as much because they have their coach and their nutritionist or their YouTube channel or whatever. I don't know. Um, they're not as helpful that way. This year for NAPF down in Scottsdale was better than last year. Last year we didn't have as much help, so it was not on the same. Last year wasn't on the same page. This year was much better, so I'm hoping it builds on that. And I'll do nationals because it's here.
That's right.
It is.
It'll be in Reno.
You're not doing open.
I've never done the open because I'm like, I don't know. All right, I will chase a gold medal a little bit. In the open, I'm middle of the pack at best.
Okay.
Uh,
Respect.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
there's just younger people stronger than me. Okay, when they're totaling as a over 900 kilo as a 120, close to over 1,000 on some of these top guys. I'm sitting here in the mid 700s on a good day. I would like to break 800 at some point. I don't know if I'll ever get there. I'm gonna run out of time.
Damn, that sounded hella somber. The way you said that, I'm gonna run out of time.
On a better note, I hear the bench teams are usually a lot more tight knit for the worlds and even the Pan American teams and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
they were great. Like we did excursions together and stuff like that. Or hey, I just got done doing mine. I'm gonna come help load your plates. What do you need? What do you need? I got you, and this stuff like that. Whereas ours, it's like as soon as you're done, you're over in the corner and like try not to die because it's hot. And but
Man,
I like the bench teams.
You just experienced team aspect at NAPF recently too.
Yeah.
But that's how I was racing to powerlifting was team aspect for collegiate and stuff. But it's just nothing like it. Just being able to help your teammates, have other people help you, people cheering you on, and going back there when you're done helping your teammates, or even the days before. Like it's so much more fun than just powerlifting by yourself. And sadly, it's not experienced freely available to a lot of people to have those teams like that.
I would prefer like if there was a little bit more of that, like the bench team with the full power. Like you see team Trinidad Tobago was super loud. Canada always brings a good contingency. They're super loud. What else was it? Just most of those other teams, but they're also
Jamaica's really
super close knit with their powerlifting team. They're also they weren't spread the wind like the U.S. is. Canada, just because of the way they're, what is it, the CPU?
Yeah.
The way they're built, they're kind of a little bit more tighter knit. Even though you got somebody from the West Coast and somebody on the East Coast, they tend to be a little bit more tight knit. I wish we were more like.
They have a whole qualification process for nationals CPU. Like you have to do a local, then you have to do a regional, you have to do a provincial, and then they have a national. It's like, but you have to do one of those and be good to qualify for nationals, not just here's a meet with the QT.
Yeah, yeah. Like my first meet for them, I think I just did I forgot how I qualified. I think I qualified based on my USAPL stuff.
I think that stuff did carry over at first.
Yeah, it did at first.
And if we want to tangent, I almost quit because of USAPL disbanding. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't need to powerlift anymore.
Felt like being in front of a bunch of divorced parents and shit.
And when I first, they're like, okay, you're good enough to go to national. Like, okay, I want to go to an international meet. I want to be good enough to go to international. And then USAPL with the IPF and all that stuff went, okay, well, this isn't going to happen. And I'm not good enough to go to like big dogs. That kind of international that way. It's a whole different animal. And then I was like, all right, this is not going to happen. That's just the way life is sometimes. And then Tammy's like, hey, you should do masters. I'm like, masters? Okay.
I just started.
I'm like, here we are. And then I hurt my knee. I'm like, I'm still going. I'll figure it out. I'll give you a number. Because I like competing. I could do meets all year round if it was the ability to do it. I used to do anywhere from 3 to 4 a year. Now it's I'm doing 1 to 2. But I don't have to do local meets anymore, which sucks. I like doing local meets.
You can still do local meets.
Yeah, but it depends on how the training is.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Another thing you got to put time into. And it's like I'd rather put those days off I do have into
I
other time
I
frames.
prefer to have a meet in the distance because it just helps with training. Otherwise, I just kind of spin my wheels.
That makes sense.
But I don't have to. I don't have to do the local stuff. And for a while there, it's like you're always lifting against the same people, so it's like, all right, I already know what this outcome's going to be. Sorry, guys, I love you all, but I already know how this is going to end up.
Just quit now.
I honestly have never won a local. I've gotten one sword. There's always somebody better.
Oh yeah, y'all do swords here, huh?
Yeah.
That's right.
There's always a younger guy that's better than me, and I don't compete as a masters on a local level because you don't. Why? That's stupid. You're competing against yourself again. On a national level or international level, it makes sense to do your age groups because you're getting points for a team
You know,
awards and stuff like that.
That's crazy because like back in Nebraska, all the masters lifters that went to worlds like in the Midwest, they loved doing local meets, man. They loved going to the regional or the state meet and stuff. I was just like,
Because they're automatically winning.
most of the time, yeah, you know, and they don't have to try it national. They don't have to try it till
They
get to
love
worlds.
They love to be able to brag about that.
A lot of like masters 2 through 4, like that's just a lot of vacation time for them. They're like,
Yes.
I get to lift at a meet, see some cool people, then go to Germany. You know, like I'm already there.
Yeah, I hate to bag on some of the equipped guys. No offense here. They don't even put it. They don't even. You've been an equipped. Yeah, equipped.
It's like just me,
They'll,
huh?
they won't even put the shirt on until
No.
they're third.
Yep.
No, yeah,
And so
they don't have to.
because
It's
there's
like, I
no
might
there's
as well
no
go for a PR.
because there's no competition or the pool's even shallower than I'm having to deal with sometimes. Hell, I'm at the point now I might put on a shirt. just for
Hell
shits and
yeah.
giggles.
I think you should. I have a
Switch
shirt for
over.
you, dude. I have a shirt for you.
Switch over. It's
I
time.
have a squat suit for you too.
You're getting to be about that age.
I honestly, it's not out of the realm.
I would love to see you in a deadlift suit, like your deadlift suit.
I'd love to see him try to put it on.
I think it would fit him. Just the straps would be hella loose. Maybe if they
you
connect.
might
Yeah,
be
but I
looking-
have to put a suit on and lift conventional.
No, you don't.
Okay. Yeah, I suck at the sumo.
All right, then just bench.
You can
I
I have a
honestly,
shirt- I have a
okay,
shirt
my
for you.
my sumo is fine until I get to about 80%,
Okay.
and then it just becomes a
Things
straight
start breaking down.
becomes a straight leg, wide stance straight leg. Okay, I can't be Peyton. It just
Not with that mindset.
with the hey, I'll still give you a 600-pound sumo deadlift. I could still do it. I'm just not gonna do 700. So.
Very impressive still.
just put the suit on.
Yeah.
Now you got 700.
Now you got 7.
I feel like Iron Man.
If it hurts,
You weren't anybody till you
it,
put the suit on.
it helps everything but the easiest part of the lift.
Do you want to win worlds or not?
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna put you in a suit.
Knee wraps under the sleeves, like the Italians.
Oh, don't be that kid. That kid who's like, what?
What?
As they put the knee sleeves down, there's another set of knee sleeves
Huh?
and another set of knee sleeves.
That would be funny if like,
Or,
they took his other sleeve down. Like
Like a nesting doll.
Didn't somebody do
They did a slingshot.
the slingshot?
That's
yeah.
that was the Italian.
I thought
No,
it was
he-
a French. It was a French kid.
He
think
did.
it-
He did
It
the
was an
slingshot.
Italian old man that did the slingshot.
Oh,
He got chased out of the arena.
Nobody noticed?
No.
Nobody noticed this.
well, he would come out like tuckered
The
up.
thing is, nobody really noticed except for like the guy that chased him because he's only doing like 315 on bench
Yeah, it's wild. He put a slingshot on to barely do anything.
as like a 93, and it's like, all right, do whatever. I don't care. You know, it's not
Yeah,
helping you.
I know it's a different art form, but it would be something to consider. But I know you usually need help.
I
and
think
I
it's
tend to lift a little bit lone wolf when I'm lifting.
yeah. I think it's a little mental refresher, just something new, and then also, yeah, that team aspect we talked about that helps a lot. Like just getting your shirt on, having guys spot for you and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. What's his name? I just know him as Vanilla Guru. Blaine Sumner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talked about like just being in the suit just helped his joints, even though he was putting on.
yeah, it
1100
feels,
pounds
feels
on
a
his-
lot better.
He had torn hip labrums, I think, and that like completely covered it up. We had girls on the team at my college, 1 or 2 torn hip labrums just from lifting in high school. And when they got there, it's like, I'm not allowed to max out raw. Doctor said no, but I can throw 400 pounds on my suit though. It's like, sweet, we got you.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Covers it up. I
I
guess.
think I've only ever done like I think the Mad Dog slingshot. That's about as much as I've ever that's gonna mimic anything like a shirt. So it's interesting.
I think it'd be cool.
It'd be fun. It's like I said, it's just a mental refresher, something new.
And like I know some of the masters lifters are they're already doing the raw. They're already considering the plus because it's just it's another meet. It's another hey, here's another gold medal.
Right. Another gold, another vacation.
Dude, it's hard. Like oh
Get to
hey,
go drinking with the boys after, you know.
oh you want to go to Sun City, Africa? Hey, sure, why not?
Why not?
Hey,
I guess I'll do a
go,
meet this year.
Yeah, let's go to Malta. Let's go to Estonia or whatever else.
Lithuania.
Yeah.
Lithuania.
I think there's supposed to be one in Norway.
I think that's Worlds next year.
I'm all over.
think.
I'm all over that. I want to
would-
do that.
That would be sick. I'd like to get invited to Spot and Load for that one.
I know as an M1, my chances of winning a world are not the greatest because the guys in front of me are just better. But M2s,
You know, speaking of like being an M1, like especially nowadays, that's super hard because like all the open lifters that were like winning nationals and worlds like from 2017, but and before pretty much post COVID, they're master like Ellis McLean, they're Masters 1 lifters now.
Yeah.
Like you came in at a very competitive time as a master. Where usually like Masters 1 was kind of grouped in with the other masters. Now they're like, oh, Masters 1s, they're kind of good now.
Here's okay. My first nationals in 22. Dennis Cornelius was supposed to be there as a masters lifter. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
okay, no fucking chance here. I can't even do an opener for him.
No, he's insane. Yeah.
And then he's I don't know for no showed. I don't know why he's not competing or like that. He's still lifting obviously, and his numbers are disgusting. And he was like one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in person, watching him lift. And so I was like, oh, he's here. Okay, going for bronze.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, you didn't show up. I'm like, oh fuck, I might win.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay.
Just rally call.
I hate to say it, like somebody's got to win, even if it's not world class, world record numbers.
Part of the
Why
game.
not me?
Part of the game is showing up.
Yeah. I wish he would, because he was just gross.
It'd be
And
fun
gross
to
in a nice
It's
way.
fun to watch that stuff. Yeah.
He always had the scariest walkout though, because he just shakes, and then all of a sudden when it, boom, down and up
I was scared watching his Instagram because he always lifted on pound plates in his garage. I'm like, one day that's just
on
gonna
that
give.
bar that's just bent as shit.
Yeah, dude. It's not like he's not like a Alico or Ohio. It's just some barbell from Anytime Fitness or something. With
And
just
he just-
pound plate, non-matching pound plates. It's barefoot in his garage. It's like it's 850. He just strokes it. It's all good.
It's we had that in the gym at the jail. Like it says 45. That's not 40. This one's 52. This one's 43. Somebody actually went and weighed them all, and because they're just random iron plates from the 70s. They finally have matching stuff now. It's actually not a bad little gym. I won't deadlift in there because it's rude. Plus the bars suck. We are blessed at American Iron.
Very, very,
Very,
lucky.
very good bars.
Bars, equipment, everything like that. That's why I get pissy when somebody wants to be a dick, not put their weights away or dump shit. Or
You should just arrest them.
we've already had enough arrests out of this freaking gym. Some shady people sometimes. That was the reason I liked being in law enforcement, because of a guy that was lifting in there, and we didn't know his history. And when I found out his history, I practically took the cops to his house.
Jeez.
Well, I didn't know what his history was. I know he had been a convict, but I didn't know what for, and it was for
Okay.
not good crimes.
Yes.
Dastardly deeds.
Enough that my children were around him, and I shouldn't have never had my children around him. But he's away and won't be back. He gets his comeuppance by not seeing the light again.
Well, this is the American Iron Podcast.
No, I love this gym. I came here on a whim from I have to give her props, an ex-girlfriend. She bought my first membership here when I first started powerlifting. Like I was at a gym in Sparks and did the competition thing, and she said the only way you're going to be better is to come here. And I've been here ever since, and that was in late 2014. So And I did come here back when it was Flex Fitness back in 2000.
And no free shout outs. We won't mention her.
No, she doesn't. Hey, look, she gets her kudos for that. She was good and supportive. I am on to better and brighter
Good.
futures. And a much
Yeah, dude. Trip to Philly, all the work competing, dude.
and,
living a good life.
and my current Rachel is also a lifter and doing very well. And her year has already gotten medaled and everything like that. So
Is she lifting anytime soon?
she's also doing Costa Rica.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
Her bench is her forte, although I think her deadlift is actually will probably put her over the top. But
Sick.
she, like everybody else, is like, it's deadlift day.
She kind of looks forward to it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Nobody looks forward to it.
I know like 3 people that look forward to it.
I do.
You're one of them.
I love it because of the competition, but I don't look forward to it because I'm a sweater, so it's gonna be a sweaty day.
Costa Rica? Are you sure?
Yeah.
What about like Sweden?
Like
It's cold up there.
I'll say this though, at least with the deadlift, it makes your back stronger, which will make your bench stronger. So
Makes sense.
it's a necessary evil, and I'm okay at it.
I think
really
it's up
am
there
okay
with.
at it.
I think it's up there with squat. Just makes the whole body, makes the whole system a little bit stronger as
Yeah.
you get better. You know,
Yeah, it used to be
just
like
different, and it makes it stronger in a different type of way. You can handle strain better versus squat. You can just handle pressure better.
yeah.
So
I'll get that. And like squat's always weird because it never, my training cycle never always matches what ends up on the platform. Platform I always end up doing a little bit more than I do in training, so I can never gauge what I'm gonna do on the platform. It's like, so
I mean,
as long as we get our opener.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that helps. At least you're not burning out and using all your good lifts in training, though.
Yeah, and I used to do really good squats, and then I get to the platform, I'm like, okay. But like when I hurt my knee, I have to not baby it. I just have to be smart about it on volume and not pushing it beyond because it still says hello every single
Gives
time.
you a kiss on the cheek every now and then.
Yeah, so and it lets me know more when I'm out of the what I should be doing. But it sucks because I'm trying to build quads, build everything around it, but at the same time I can't.
Does that affect like even if like a machine, like a leg extension or something, or a hamstring curl? Does that affect it at all?
It's weird because those don't bother me, and I don't
Good.
for some odd reason think that like the only way you're going to squat more is to squat.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
it
so
is.
you have to squat, and then for me it's weird. I have to. It's not the legs, it's the bracing. Make sure your upper back is tight because as soon as it's not tight, that 400 pounds suddenly feels like 600 pounds. And then when you get your back tight, 600 pounds feels like 400 pounds. And you're like, this feels pretty light. Why? It's 200 pounds heavier. It shouldn't feel this light because everything is tight and braced.
You're
and
doing everything right.
You're doing everything the right way. So it's tough. And like high volume machines, it makes it angry. So
Yeah.
it's like I have to do these things.
And I was wondering if like you figured out like a machine to use. Like I had a coach he had like a complete knee replacement. He can't really squat regular squat, but he went on a pendulum squat one time. I know we have one. And he said he could go all the way down. He felt no knee pain. So I was saying if you've tried anything like
Or
that.
like belt squat.
I like belt squat. I actually like them all. I just
high volume just gets to it and no matter what.
yeah.
Okay.
Like the thing I learned a little bit for strengthening the knee is doing a lot of holds on leg extensions.
Yeah.
And
Some ISOs.
like
Negatives.
hold at the top, hold at the 45, and then hold it right just above 90, which is actually harder than at 45 for some
Dr.
reason.
Joel Seedman.
So
Just kidding.
yeah, that's
Next
it.
guess.
Yeah, just sit there and just hold it. If you hold it right there at the bottom and just, it's like watch your legs shake.
There's a guy on Instagram. His name's Doctor. He's
No,
not Doctor.
don't get me into the.
He's
90
just Jake
degree.
Tura. Anyway, he's
the-
big on like patellar tendonitis and stuff, and that was one of his main things was like the leg extensions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he just lifts weights to just say, hey, I want you to hold this trap bar sideways. And
Oh no, not that guy. I'm talking
it's not
about
that
another guy. Yeah.
okay.
No, Dr. Joel
J-
Seedman's a fucking
No, his name's
Dork.
Jake Tura.
Oh,
He's a
okay.
strength coach at
Okay.
Georgetown, I think.
I'll
but
let him. I thought you were talking about
no,
No,
I'm not
the
gonna bring him
90
up.
degree guy.
Well, now we were talking about
Look, hey,
big
some of
hands.
that guy.
Big hands.
What about the patella tendon guy?
He just has some really. He's like that was like what he did his doctorates on, I think, or his research on, and so he's big on like jumper's knee and patellar tendonitis and the whole iso holds and what you're doing with the leg extensions really helped like a lot of his like clients and athletes, and he's got other things and really a good vision of like how to treat tendons versus like muscles and stuff, and it's a really simple, digestible way to do it. So if you ever want to follow him, he's pretty good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like no, it's when I did hurt it, it was unstable. Like, okay, I'm one squat away from this thing blowing out. Now it's not that it's stable. It's there.
It's nagging.
I know it's there. I know that it's not 100%, but it doesn't feel like, okay, if I step off a curb wrong, I'm going to pummel to the ground in a heap. So that part's good. It's the same with my shoulder. Shoulder was, I thought I probably tore something in there, and it hurt to bench, like a bench national that I had to do close grip. I was like, all right, well, we're here. I'll just do close grip. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt bad, and I did okay, but not as much as I would in my normal bench grip. Now, it still says hello, but it's stable, so I can.
You're spoken like a true master.
Black belt.
This is the
powerlifting.
most master conversation.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I
How
know.
do I avoid injuries? Just not talking about them.
Or it's like, hey, do you feel 100%? Dude, I haven't felt 100% since my 30s. It's just, I feel pretty good for today.
The best I've felt in 2 weeks, so I'll give you that right now.
Yeah, like my pinky doesn't hurt today. We're all right.
It's gonna be a great day.
Yeah. So
Just points at you with his pinky. It's looking this way.
look at that thing. Look at that thing.
It's insane.
That's because of a handcuff. But
Oh, okay.
he pulled away, and I didn't realize what I had done
Oh.
until much later on. I was like,
bet
all right, we're stuck with it
I
now.
bet that stung, huh?
Damn, assault on an officer.
No, it wasn't even an assault. He just chose to go away and at a high rate of speed while holding onto his handcuffs.
Fair enough.
He wasn't supposed to go away.
KJ just arrested the handcuffs, not the guy. It's just like you dang cuffs.
I hurt one of my partners on accident because so like any movie, like you have a food slot and they reach in and their hands are behind their back and you put a handcuff on them and you're supposed to hold on to the chain or something of that matter so they don't go back into the cell with their handcuffs on and runs into a whole other thing. He started to pull away and I grabbed the chain with the old meat paws and my partner's pinky was underneath and and he's like, let go of me, please. I was like, and I'm like, you're not going anywhere, pal.
You're still on full throttle. He's like, just stop, please.
Yeah. The inmate's like, yeah, let go of me. Partner's like, let go of me. But
You're just like, hey, I got him.
yeah, that's the nice thing about grip strength. You're not going anywhere. Don't even try. I have you. We'll do that with like twist locks and rear wrist locks where you can do it. I can get away with doing it one-handed where others would have to do it two-handed. And so it just allows for other manipulation of the body just because it's strong enough to you're not going anywhere. I had a guy, what's a twist lock is basically you're here and your arm is like that. And a guy he was doing what's called a forced blood draw. So if you have a person that gets a DUI and refuses to give an evidentiary testing, we do a blood draw on it. And then we put him in this cool chair and hold him down. He knew I was training an inmate, another deputy, and was like, "Oh, I'll give you something to train about." And I put him in a twist lock, and he like yelped. He's like, "Woo!" I go, "That's a twist lock, sir." Okay.
Write that down. Write that down.
How's that for training? He's like, "I'm sorry." Yeah. All right. There we go. And he was very cooperative after that for some odd reason. That's a twist lock. It's a very effective compliance hold.
I think you need to start wearing the Ronnie Coleman shorts when you go out on your patrol. I guess you don't go patrol though. Never mind.
Just wear them anyways.
Yeah.
Just eat. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. That'd be fun.
When he was at his biggest, like when he was starting, when he didn't have to be a cop, right before he stopped having to be a cop, watching him put his vest on
Kind of funny.
and just wedge into a car. Because when you have your gear on and getting in a cop car, I don't know how our bigger, tall guys do it because I don't fit in there very well. And we've got guys that are 6'6", 6'7", 300 pounds, full gear on, wedging into a car seat, and then have to get out quickly in the event of a chase or something of that matter. I don't know how they do it, but they do.
Sounds terrible.
It's part of the fun.
I can barely just walk inside the gym.
I tripped getting to my car
Carrying a bag inside to lift.
to the lift. Insane. Unilateral carry.
Call it a day.
All a day.
Walk in, walk out.
It balances. That's how you do it. You do the right side,
Walk out with the left side.
walk out left
You
side.
know, you do right side, then you do right side again, then you continue to do the right side,
talking
and
about
then you wonder why your left side
You
hurts.
talk about your weekly split. Your training split right now.
Oh,
Left, right, neck.
yeah, left, left, right. Neck.
Yeah, today's left day. What do you mean left day? It's left day, dude. Come on. Tomorrow we got right. We got neck after.
It's just isolateral work.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Well, KJ,
Thanks.
thanks for coming on.
It's been fun.
We appreciate
Sorry
you.
for not turning off my phone and realized it was beeping away.
I didn't even hear it.
I heard it once.
I'm feeling every bit.
I
of it.
kept hearing shit outside.
I'm curious what's
I
going
swear
on.
I heard somebody
because
knock on the
I'm-
door just now.
I'm getting blown up, so I don't
Popular
know.
man. You are in
No,
APF.
I'm
world
guessing
champion.
it's because of the fire.
Oh yeah, you should probably go do your job.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, the Chief's yelling at me for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh. No, we're good.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, brother.
we do appreciate you having you on.
We didn't mention one Gym Dad comment. That's interesting.
Look, we saved you.
I don't even know what that means.
He's the gym dad.
He's Jim.
And it was from somebody who doesn't even go to our gym anymore. It started that Gym Dad shit.
Who was it?
Just because you're old.
Female. I think it was Nichelle.
I
She got a funky name that
I can't remember.
her and then Andrew West used to say it all the time.
Yes. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they started that Gym Dad thing like 3-4 years ago.
No, you're more like a gym stepdad.
I was like, because there's people older than me. You get Jim Grandpa with Rick, who's the world's most positive person. It's amazing.
Most jacked 75-year-old.
Yeah, I forget how old he is. Yes, you're like, oh my God, you're that old?
Like, yeah, you're like, no way, dude. You look like my dad. 50 years old.
It's pretty incredible.
Still
It's
benching
really cool.
mid threes.
Good guy.
Yeah, he makes training fun because he's super positive even on a bad day.
For sure.
Or the rest of the old guys. You got like Mike and Greg and Pod. Who else is over there?
They're all good guys.
They're all old.
What's the Lesher?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's his
Aaron's dad?
Yeah.
Jason.
Jason.
Jason, yeah.
He's my association president.
Really?
So he's does good things for the deputies. So we'll see.
Everyone just knows each other.
He's where I find out all the juice. Sorta. Stuff that he's allowed to talk about. It's a soap opera at the jail sometimes. Lots of personalities.
Well, maybe we should.
Telenovela.
I think we'll go over that another day.
Let's stay out of that one.
Well, you could tell
That's
us off
like
camera.
politics. We don't talk about that stuff.
Okay.
Fair enough.
No religion, no politics, and no gossip at
No jail no jail talk.
or the gossip at the gym. The Lord,
Oh, okay.
that's got its own animal.
Yeah, don't get me started.